Hi guys, welcome back to WTMukbang, and you guys are probably wondering what this is. This is called panpa, and it's a Laotian dish, and I'm gonna do. This is the whole fried tilapia, um, New Zealand mussels. They are the big juicy ones. They're my favorite. And then over here I have a whole variety of herbs and sort of like a lettuce wrap type of thing going on here. Obviously I have my dipping sauce here. Ooh, it looks a little bit different today because it's the fermented fish paste, and yeah, that's the good. So let's get this thing started. So I think I'm gonna start off with a wrap here, and I'm gonna grab one of these leaves. I still don't know what these are called. This is called pakilat in Laotian, but I don't know what's called in the English world. Uh, I'm gonna grab a piece of my tilapia here. That's why I cut it into the little checkered pieces, because you could definitely flake off a piece pretty easily. I'm gonna dip it in my sauce, put it in my lettuce wrap, and I have some cucumber here, some tomatoes. Yes. I've never done this, but a lime piece with the zest, y'all. That piece of tamarind. Yeah, I think that's all for the first. And you know, I might grab a eggplant, Laotian eggplant. You guys never had that? Yes, I cannot wait. That's really good. I'm sorry, I have no words. That's very good. I don't know why, but all these ingredients, let me just run through the ingredients right away here. This is nam, which is sort of like Asian salami, I guess. It's not raw. It's cooked. It's cured actually. This is an Asian eggplant. Here's the whole thing before I cut it. Yes, of course I have cucumbers. You guys know what those are. The limes, peppers. I have tomatoes, and then the lemongrass. I'm not gonna eat a whole like this, but this is just for presentation. I slice them up pretty thin. That's good. And this is the whole tamarind. If you guys never seen tamarind, it's very sour. There are these pieces. I slice them up. I have onions, cilantro, fresh mint, my favorite. Oh, I love going to the grocery store, especially Asian market, and you could get all these very different style herbs, and it's a good price actually. I think a whole bag of these mints were like $2. Isn't that amazing? Oh yeah, and then I have my mussels and my fish. So yeah, let's do another wrap here. I think I'm gonna go with the lettuce wrap. I just have some red lettuce here. I think I'm gonna grab a mussel though. I love mussels. These are my favorite ones. I'm gonna dip it in my sauce, of course. Ooh, girl. And then with the lettuce wrap, you could basically add anything. I love just like adding everything. And weirdly, it all just ties together. I think it's with the sauce. So I just added some eggplant, cucumbers, the same, and tamarind, of course, my favorite. Yes. Okay. I think I'm gonna dip it in the sauce again. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Just a little dip. It's pretty spicy. Oh my, I need, ooh, it's dripping. Drip, drip. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. So good. Like, so the flavors I'm getting is sour, spicy, um, zesty from the lime, and it magically, like, I don't know, weirdly it works. This is very good. So with this scary story, guys, so this was probably like 10 years ago, not even, like, no, 15 years ago, I'm pretty sure. And so my cousin, she was driving, and it was an Oldsmobile, her vehicle, but yeah, I feel like it was one of those winter nights in Minnesota, and you basically, when you're driving, you don't have time to defrost the vehicle, and the only part that's defrost is the bottom part. And I know you guys probably all, you know, have that happen, but anyways, we're in a hurry. We were gonna go pick up somebody from across the town, like downtown, and we had to cross the what is it, the railroad before we got to our house. And this was pretty, it was interesting. um so when we get to the railroad, the only we're only able to see a strip, and then everything's all frosted. And so we're crossing. It was at dark it was dark, it's close to midnight. And so all of a sudden we see a shadow, and like it jumps on our vehicle, and then it screeches on our car like, and we're like, and I'm like, do you see that? And she's just like, oh my gosh, I see it, I see it. And then all of a sudden it's like, and then it drops. Like, and it's a shadow, so like there's nothing heavy about a shadow, and it's like you can see it. It's like there's something scratching and crawling on our vehicle, drops onto the railroad, and then just sort of like goes into the dark. And we're just like, oh my goodness, that was so scary, y'all. That's the first time I've ever seen a ghost. And I don't know. It was a spirit. It was something scary, and it wasn't like, yeah, it was so scary. So, and every time I do get like paranormal activity like that, I get sick the next day. And definitely it had to be paranormal, because the next day I was sick, and I get sick for a few days. I'm not sure why, but I think I think Asians, I think we believe that sometimes our spirit gets spooked out, or spirit, and it takes a couple days to return, because like if you get scared or spooked too like that hard, if you get shook, basically you get sick. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was like the first time I've ever seen a ghost. And yeah, let me tell you this, it was really scary. I usually, whew. And then there's another time, I don't think it was a ghost, I think it was something like, it had to be paranormal, because I did get sick the next day. um so this thing, it's the same situation. My cousin and I, he was driving, and we were going around the lake. And in a small town, there's not much to do besides, cruise, hang out at Walmart. There's really not much to do. And so, and it wasn't Halloween night, it was a different night, but it was closer to midnight. And then we just decided to go on a cruise. And all of a sudden, it's like we're going through the grade, which is, the grade is like, there's a part of the lake on this side, and then the road, and then part of the lake on this side, and it's pitch dark. And the only lights they have on the grade, they do have some street lights, but it's like this one side is like every other one was lit. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was just like it was out for that night. But when we were going by, we saw a big figure, like a big black figure. I'm not sure what it was. It looked like a shadow. All these things look like a shadow. And it had two glowing eyes, two red eyes, and it like looked at us, and then dived into the water, into the lake. And we were just like, oh my goodness. So we were so shook that I was just like, hey, I asked my cousin, I'm like, hey, did you see that? And he's like, yeah, I saw it. And he's like, what did you see? I'm like, I saw like a big black figure look at us, and then he finished my sentence and he's like, and then it went into the water, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not just see that alone. Like we both saw it. It was so scary, and yeah, and then next thing you know, I get sick. So it's like it has to be paranormal. That was so crazy. Mm-hmm. Usually I don't want to see this stuff, but when I do, it gets scary. I get sick. Mm. But when I was younger, I used to not believe in the hocus pocus. I thought it was just something my parents would tell us, but don't be too loud, you know, you're gonna see a ghost or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And don't like mess around at night. And, you know, just growing up now, it's like, okay, I see that. I see it. It's sort of real. Yeah, I get so scared, you know? And I'm just like, they are telling the truth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. And this is not like a ghost story, but it's a pretty scary story. Like my brother and I, we were going to Walmart. You know, it was at night, and so we live in a duplex, and like so our driveway is pretty long and narrow. And I was walking to the it was dark. It was already dark. Excuse me. And we live right in front of the armory. So when that and so it's a big empty field, and I'm walking to the car. I'm out first, so I'm looking up in the sky. It's like pitch dark, and all of a sudden I see like a shadowy big. I swear it was a UFO. We both still think to this day that it's a UFO, and it is just hovered right over our place, like literally. And I'm like, "Oh my, do you see that?" And he's like, "What?" I looked up and he's like, "I do see it." And we're like, "Oh my, what is it?" And it was so silent, so dark. And you know, it's not a drone because, girl, how is a drone gonna be as big as a plane? Like it's bigger than a plane. This and it's so quiet, and we both look at each other like, "You see that? Yeah, you see that?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So it was so crazy, and then we're just like, we definitely saw a UFO that night, and I swear, I've seen it another time with my friend, but I don't know. These things are pretty creepy. Sometimes you never know because when you're out like doing a bonfire or something, I've seen it during a bonfire too, and it's just like you just look up and you notice it, and it's like, did I see that? I did. Yep. That's not. That was like the first time I've seen a UFO, but I've seen it more than once. You guys could call me crazy. I think I'm a little bit crazy because that shit is crazy. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. I think sometimes there is a paranormal world out there, and I've seen it. I used to not believe in it, but I do now. You know. Oh, I'm getting this fish, y'all. This is my favorite. This is tilapia, not fresh, frozen. All this stuff is frozen. Frozen. Yes. How many times did I say frozen? Look at these bones, y'all. Yeah. I don't know. Ever since I was younger, my parents never really, you know how, like, we never really filleted the fish. It was always whole like this. Like a whole fish, y'all. And we would be, you know, she would take out the bones and stuff for us when we were younger, but now we just do it ourselves. And yeah, I've always like, okay, because us Asians, we eat everything. Fish eyes. Have you guys ever tried fish eyes? Y'all, if you guys haven't, y'all are missing out. This is a fish eyes, y'all. Fish head, the brain, fish eggs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, I just figured out recently one of my favorite parts of the fish is the fish belly. I know there's a lot of like there's the fish belly, tilapia belly. There it is. That's the fatty part. Omega 3, baby girl. Omega 3s. Oh, I gotta get these bones out. Look at these bones. It's pretty deadly if you bite into a bone. It has happened. You know. Oh, easy, easy. Yeah. Show up to the emergency room with some fish bones in your jugular. You're just. I was just eating supper. Ooh, excuse me. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. I think I'm gonna do one more wrap for you guys and then wrap it up. Let me see. Okay. Hope you guys like my scary stories. I mean, if you have some scary stories, don't mind leaving them in the comments, please. And thank you. I loved listening to scary stories. It was one of my favorite things. As a kid, I had this one substitute teacher, and she knew how to tell scary stories. Like every time she would set the mood, and boom, boom. It was sixth grade. She was a substitute teacher. I remember her, and she was just like, she would have everybody just like, all the sixth graders. Just a really, really good storyteller. She was a nice lady, by the way. I liked her. Oh yeah. Let me shake off that sauce. Mm-hmm. Mm. So I think I'm getting pretty full, guys. Look at all the damage I did to this fish. Hello. I still got muscles, baby girl. My veg. Yes. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And if you guys are interested in me doing ASMR, please leave it in the description, comments below. And yeah, I think I want to look into that. I really don't have a mic system, but like, hello. And if you guys want to hear this voice, oh, hit that note, boy. Yeah, if you guys don't want to hear this noise, you guys could see me in the ASMR. Maybe. Thank you, and yeah, see you guys later.